Yeah, man, it is the 6th of March, 2023. So I'm starting this video because there's something that keeps going on with these gang stalkers trying to do these live streams over my services on my device. Theft of services, illegally accessing my device, and stuff like that. And so what happens is here's the whole scenario, right? I'm just sitting there and I'm like looking at some little things that I'm doing on my phone, and I'm feeling like all this broadcast stuff, like all in my beard, and I taste it in my mouth, and it's like all in my lower jawline, like broadcast stuff. It's like moving around, and you can taste electricity, and it starts to like make all your teeth loose and deteriorate your gums. And they started putting broadcast in my mouth in 2017. So this is the gang stalker group that they say that Robert Lackey is their leader, and Tony Bruce and Black James. Those are some of the higher up people in this whole organization. But these guys that are on my neural monitoring, Black James put them here in 2016, and he said, "I hope you're ready, because these MFs are relentless." That's what he said when he handed it over to this group of guys. And they bring all their people on, and they've all been on here for that long. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're going on 8 years. And they were on already. It was just Black James. And Black James was the main guy. They call him Black James. I don't know his last name. He was the main guy that was on my neural monitoring then. Okay, like 15 and the first half of 16. And he had two girls on with him, Kimberly, and they call her Emily, the other one. But they called the one girl Kimmy, and then they call the other girl Emily. But some of the files that I've found in some of my devices where they have scripts written to like how they're like initiating live streams and like stealing my files and running this through filters and that or whatever. And it actually said Emmy, not Emily. So not exactly sure. I've tried to locate that file again, but you know how that goes with them. I'm pretty sure I do have that file. It's one that I intercepted out of my Android by, let me tell you how I did it. I go in the Files app, and I had actually a root file system app, and I would go in and I would transfer all the files that I found that were theirs from the root file system over to the regular file system, and then from there I stick a thumb drive, USB thumb drive right here, and then I would transfer them onto that USB thumb drive. While that was happening, they would always stop the process. And it was like I was going in to my own device and hijacking their files off of my device, and they would stop it every time. So I started putting the device in this little, one of those little safes, like a little fire safe type thing. I put it in that, shut the door with it, and then put it in the freezer and shut that door, and then wait 10 minutes, and I'd go back and the files would be transferred. I would pull the drive out, and then I'd have their files. So later, when I figured out a way to look through their files, which was my old Mac tower that didn't have connectivity, wireless connectivity. Like if you wanted to be on the internet, you either had to put a Wi-Fi card in it or you had to connect Ethernet, and because it was an old school. And so I started using that, and I was like going through all the files and looking at their files, and the real files from them that I was finding from my devices that would show like the script of everything they were doing, and all kinds of like fake files that I was trying to figure out exactly what they really were, and a lot of stuff. Okay, I got lots of that kind of stuff. And then somehow they figured out how to get into that Mac tower with no connectivity. So once they started, when I could see visually that they were starting to like make files disappear and doing stuff, and I had to just shut down that operation. But still, I do a lot of things to secure my files with them. I bought this little device that's called a duplicator, and you can stick hard drives and USBs and stuff like that, and like duplicate a memory card or a hard drive, and then have two copies. And then if you want to experiment, you use one copy. You only use one copy at a time. You always keep a good, solid, good copy. And then you can kind of experiment. But, they'll go right in your face and just take your files and delete them. And, oh, no, you're not having that. Of course not. It's solid evidence against you. It's solid evidence against you, but I just remember it in one of those files, like where they had this whole script written out. It was Emmy was the instead of Emily, it was just Emmy. It might have been short for Emily. I don't know. It's just one of the gang stalking girls in their group. Part of the family, I think, of the guys who are on my channel as the main guys now. There's 4 of them who are the main guys. Then they bring all their buddies on. So anyway, back to the story. I'm sitting there and I feel all this broadcast, all over my face and in my mouth. And they've been attacking my mouth since 2017 is when they first started doing that. When they brought they brought one guy on with them, and he's been on with them ever since then. So one of them's just been around since 17. But yeah, that was like his thing. And then they've all been doing it, just broadcasting in my mouth. And I always got them all in my beard and stuff like that. And so they were starting a live stream. Suddenly, my brightness blinks down to like halfway. It's only half powered brightness, right? And I don't like to leave my phone bright unless I'm out in the sun. But lately, I leave it bright a little more than halfway. So when they do that, I can see it blink down. You see the actual level of brightness blink to a lower level of brightness suddenly. And then I'm like, okay, I know what that means. That means they got a bunch of people, for whatever reason, they have to set it up that way. So they got a bunch of people trying to do a live stream using my device, my services, while they physically attack me with broadcast. And so I go and I check my brightness. And of course, like I've been showing in the videos over the last month, you go up, and then at halfway, it stops getting brighter. And then you can go the second half, but it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. And so I ran in here. I'm like, okay. At first I turned the device off. I'm like, that's cool. If you think you're going to sit here and use my device to do that and my services, then I'm going to just turn it off. So I turned it off for like 30 minutes. I'm like, I really shouldn't have to turn off my device to keep these idiots from using it. I need to use my stuff. It's all kind of suppression and criminal. Really, it's a lot of criminal stuff going on with that. Not even aside from the physical broadcast torture, there's a lot going on there. And that's the kind of things that we can prove. That's the kind of things that when we learn more, we can prove that kind of stuff and drag their ass right into a courtroom, sue the state and the local counties for ignoring us for all this time, and get our millions and walk away, probably with our neural monitoring, just to shut up about it. Right? These idiots, they got it. They get on mind control. They get a whole group of them, put on the little headsets, and now they got things over their eyes, and they're living as a hologram broadcast and crawling all over your face and screaming in little girl voices, posing on a man's body, acting like gay weirdos. Really, these are men screaming with girl voices, crawling all over a man's body all day, every day. They're obsessed. I do little songs like you're obsessed, and start singing about my own name and stuff. Like, you're obsessed with a boy. What's wrong with these idiots? So I turn my device back on, and then there it goes. Within a minute, the brightness blinked back down low again. I said, okay. That's when I run and get the other one. Run and get my other phone. I don't use it very often, just like for a hotspot and stuff like that. But I run and get the other phone, and I'm like, I'm going to take a video of it, because you can't get a video of your brightness changing on a screen recording. It doesn't show up on a screen recording. So I was going to come, and that's how I did it several times over the last month, every time they do it. Okay, I'll go and try to make a video. And I know it's like silly, but at the same time, it's not. It's showing that they're remotely accessing my device and controlling things on my user interface. Taking control of my phone. And that's mine. That belongs to me. I paid for it. It's an iPhone. iPhones can be hacked just like an Android or just like anything else. They can get into anything. Neural monitoring people, they just buy a little program from somebody and then run the program, and they take over your whole thing. MacBook Pro, Windows computer, iPad, iPhone, Android, Kindle, you name it. Pioneer car, stereo. They take over anything they want with broadcast capabilities. Just take over your device, and then they're running the show. They got probably a virtual machine hosted on it, or some kind of modified app configured to run as a virtual machine, and then they're running EMF broadcast live streams. And you might have 5 or 6 or 20 of them doing the same thing on 20 different apps on your phone. And all of them just running live streams. So I like the Stream app, where it does a lot of HTTP. It monitors the HTTP traffic And so, when I turn that on, a lot of times they'll quit. If I turn on Sniff, it's called Sniff. So it monitors the HTTP traffic, and the app is called Stream, and it's for iPhone and iPad. You can get stuff like that on Android too, and it monitors the HTTP traffic. And basically, you might not know what to do with it, but it is evidence against them because the stuff that they're doing will come through there. Also, yeah. Anyway, I started to do all of that, got this out, and as soon as I turned it on, my brightness blinked back up. Right? He's like, "Oh," I'm like, "That's okay. I'm gonna do a video about it anyway." Another important thing, see, they're on our devices. And they're using our devices. So there's a few guys on YouTube that talk about in depth, like almost like a master class. There is one that does a master class, and it's all on YouTube with Wireshark. All right. And if you start to learn about all of the network protocols, and I'm learning it slowly and steady, but I do study it a little bit, and I should probably do it more, but I can't study everything every day. It's just impossible. But Wireshark is very good. If we can learn how to use things like that on an advanced level and understand what we're looking at, that's where you find them accessing your device and where it is they're communicating back and forth to on the internet, and then you find neural monitoring. That's how you find neural monitoring. But you got to understand how that stuff works. And so Wireshark is a big thing that I'm going to study a lot in the future. I think probably not next semester, but maybe the semester after that, starting really to take some more advanced networking type protocol classes and some more advanced programming classes. And that's going to start to lead me in a direction that's gonna really put a damper on the stupid stuff that they do. Because I'm jaded about it. I'm disgruntled target, right? So I want to tell the world about the stupid stuff that they're doing because they keep doing it. They keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And they're like, "Oh, we ain't stopping until this and until that." Well, guess what happens until that happens? When that happens, I'm telling the whole world about it. That's what's going to happen. When I figure out how to track you down and what you're doing exactly, I'm going to make a tutorial about it. Because you've been on my phone for a decade, you moron. You wonder why. Wonder why I'm so pissed about it. After it's been a whole decade in my mouth broadcasting, like trying to weaken my jawbone and make all my teeth fall out, right? You attack my heart every single day, my feet and my knees. You try everything you can to disable me. The more I'm sitting here and can't hardly walk, the more I'm going to spend all my time studying how to ruin your ass. Computer stuff is where it's at. Everything they do is online. Everything they do is on devices. They're not communicating with the satellites with some switchboard in their house like it's 1978. That's not how they're doing it. That's probably how the CIA did it in 1978. But now, they're doing it right here on one of these. That's what we got to learn. Wireshark is going to be a big deal when I learn how to do that. When I learn what everything means really, really well, I think that's one of the ways that I might be able to track exactly where they're communicating with and basically try to get some access to neural monitoring stuff. With my college, the last 5 or 6 semesters have really been basic classes and a few required type of classes. And, I got a few more of those. But next semester, I'll probably do, I think I'm doing a structured core, like a SQL class. And I have web development coming up, and I'm going to take accounting and economics, some of those type of things. And then, couple more semesters probably, and then I'll start getting into the really advanced network and programming stuff. And so that's going to be bad for them. I think I got like a 3.9 right now. it's because I really took on too much at one point when I was working a lot, and I ended up getting a C in the class. Other than that, I've been getting like 96, 99, stuff like that in these classes. So, and it's college level stuff, but the in-depth programming, I haven't really gotten into all of that yet. There was one class, and I probably took it too early in the sequence, but it was I forget the name of the class, but it was a lot about Python and like logic and the way all of that works. And I probably should have took like quantitative reasoning, the math class that because first before I took that class, because it really goes into logic. And so like math stuff and like advanced math stuff and algebra and computer programming are like the same thing almost. So you want to learn that stuff. But if you're not trying to learn more every day all the time, they're going to be doing this to you for the rest of your life, really. And they really will. And when they find somebody to connect with, some mind that they love, they'll just stay. And I've heard a lot of people talk about like, oh, after 2, 3, 4 years, whatever, like they finally just left and they haven't bothered me in, a year. But that doesn't mean they can't. They can always turn it back on. And who knows with those kind of time frames? Like somebody's been on your neural monitoring for 3 or 4 years, right? They might have died. They could have died or went off to prison or something bad could have happened. Or maybe they finally found some other person to connect to. They love their mind more. But a lot of times they'll just stay. If they love the way your mind works forever, they'll just stay. They're that obsessed. And they'll just stay. They sit around their house on mind control all day, every day, and do these live streams. And it's like a little subculture, of little weirdos that just, it's not unheard of for people to just be sitting around on the computer all day being weirdos. Okay. And now give them some super advanced capabilities where they can just completely spy on everything that you got going on and see you naked and know your thoughts and physically attack you and talk to you without a device, over broadcast telepathy. They can do all of that. Of course, they're not going to get out of their seats and go anywhere or do anything. They're already pathetic in the first place. They don't have anything else going in their life. They don't care. I'll spend the rest of my life. I want to do this for the rest of my life. They literally say those exact words to me. I'm never getting off your channel. That's what the one guy says. And all of them are like idiots. They can't even control their voice levels and stuff. They're always like, weirdos, man. They're weirdos, okay? And the more they do this dumb shit to my devices and to me and everything else, the more I'm going to blow it up publicly because that's what I feel like I need to do, period. And if nobody wants to help me, that's fine. That's fine. I will help myself, all right? That's it. So hope you guys really take some of my advice, man, because I'm moving in the right direction. And it's going to be real bad for them. And it's going to be real good for me. And I hope some of you guys will join me in this pathway to gaining our neural monitoring and shutting these idiots down. Thanks for watching.